Howdy everybody, I'm Gary and this is GLoPersonalFinance, where I talk about getting your finances under control, building wealth, and becoming financially independent. So as you guys probably know by now, I'm on fire. I'm in this movement called the FIRE movement. For those of you who don't know, FIRE is an acronym for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And one way to do that is through index funds. I'll even go on to say it's one of the safest, easiest, slickest risk to profit ratios out there for most people. It's one that requires no skill, very little work, and still has amazing returns. I'll even report out a statistic that it outperformed 99% of individual investors and over 95% of hedge funds. And you can beat all of those with only a few minutes of your time. So let's get started on what an index fund is. First off, I'm not sponsored by Vanguard or Fidelity. I hold their accounts because I know them to be amazing companies. There are many other brokerages that are amazing also. I also have this disclaimer down in the description, but I am not a financial advisor, and the information I give is for your entertainment purposes only. I only speak of these funds because I invest in them myself, so let's get started. So a total money market index fund is a collection of all the stocks in the market, and if you buy a share of an index fund, it's like you own a tiny fraction of every share in the market. I mean, you could do this yourself. You could go out and buy one share of every single company in the New York Stock Exchange, and this would be the epitome of diversification, and it will also cost a lot of money. Or you can buy one share of this Vanguard fund called VTI for around $170 and do the exact same thing. In this way, your eggs are not all in one basket. Your egg is being sliced up in many tiny slices and put into many different baskets. There are index funds for everything. You can buy VU and own a little bit of the top 500 companies in the US for a low price of $305, or you can buy VXUS and own a little bit of every international stock for a low price of around $54. There are index funds for virtually anything. You want an index fund for bonds? Here you go. So why are index funds such a good investment? Here are my top 3 reasons. First reason, very low fees. These funds charge 0.03 to 0.04% expense ratios, which equates to around $4 for every $10,000 you invest. Yeah, that's cheap. Your other choice is buying a mutual fund from your Uncle Stan's financial guy, who's such a great, outstanding guy, and who just charged you a very high fee to put your money in a fund that probably won't beat the easy-to-buy VU or VTI. And by the way, by giving your money to that financial advisor, you probably just gave that person a new jet ski for the fees they're charging you. According to Standard & Poor's, 75% of actively managed domestic stock funds underperform the total stock market. That's right, if you went with your Uncle Stan's advice, you would have beat the market only 25% of those times, and 75% of that time just investing in an index fund would have yielded way more money. Stop listening to Uncle Stan and his financial guy. More than likely, you would have made more money investing in an index fund versus investing in individual stocks on its own. Several studies show 92 to 95% of portfolio managers could not beat an index fund. Keep in mind, these portfolio managers went to Ivy League schools. They're the best and the brightest, and most can't do it. For the average lay investors, statistics show 99% of them can't beat a total market index fund. Mostly because these lay investors panic when things drop, let emotions take a hold of them, buy back in the top because of FOMO, and then all heck breaks loose because it drops again. There's total chaos. Now, of course, you alone could pick 30 stocks to invest in, but if one of those stocks suddenly goes bankrupt, that's a huge hit to your portfolio. But if you invest in an S&P 500 index and one of those 500 companies goes bankrupt, more than likely you wouldn't even feel a thing. The average return of an S&P 500 index is around 6 to 7%, all made up of winners and losers. And I am very sure if you do enough research on these winners and losers, you can make a portfolio of all the winners. Which, if you have time, if you know what to look for, if you're willing to read lots of investment articles, or you're able to find one of those small 1% of average investors who's willing to mentor you to pick individual stocks that can beat the market, by all means, go for it. However, remember, over the long run, statistics show you won't beat an index fund. And third, the reason why I invest in index funds, because having a kid, lesson planning for school, making YouTube videos, all takes up a lot of time. So investing in index funds for me is easy. I don't need to do research if there's a flaw in Apple's iPhone 12, or if Chase Bank is lending out subprime mortgages, or if Amazon is treating their warehouse workers like crap, or if Microsoft's financials are lining up with their price-earnings ratio, or SEC allegations, or quarterly earnings. The list goes on. All I have to do is I can just sit back and realize every one of those 500 companies are trying to survive and push their company up, moving the symbiotic economy up as a whole. I mean, being able to read a financial statement is important, and taking time to research if a company is on the up and up is great, which is why I've taken the time to do that and have picked a few individual stocks to invest in, but that is a very small percentage of my portfolio. The majority of my money is in index funds because of how easy it is. As I grow older and older, I personally will switch my funds to more bonds because it's less volatile. So to conclude, I know I'm going to get comments like,
"But hey, I bought Tesla 5 years ago and look at me now, I'm a millionaire."
To which I say, great, you're one of the exceptional 1% of the people who can beat the market. However, what I'm saying is 99% of the time, over the long run, an index fund will do the majority of investors very well. So after I save my emergency fund of 3 to 6 months, I just throw the appropriate amount of money into index funds at equal intervals, also known as dollar cost averaging. And then I go on living my life, watching that money grow and grow in the long run. So here's my challenge for you. If you haven't done so already, take 20 minutes and open up a Roth IRA at Vanguard or Fidelity or any other reputable brokerage. Or if you haven't already maxed out your Roth for the year, open up a regular taxable brokerage and start tossing money in there to start investing for your future. No, really. Do it now. Holding more than 3 to 6 months in savings is essentially losing money due to inflation, so your money is not working for you. Make your money work for you with index funds. If you want to learn about investing in individual stocks, I definitely encourage you to do so and be that 1% of investors that beat the S&P 500 index. I'll probably make a video on that later, but for now, building wealth for me means having a stable footing on solid ground on an investment that has years and years of data to back up my choice. If you find these videos useful, like and subscribe to my channels. Stay safe out there, happy investing, and I'll see y'all next time.